Hi, Crit Starters. Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to sound like a complete echo of everything you're hearing at the moment, but obviously, due to recent events, yeah, things are changing. So, obviously, very frustrated. We did really, for lack of a better phrase, have our shit together this year. We had everything planned out through to May, and now, even if there's a chance that some of the shoots will be possible, it's not practical to go ahead as planned or assume we're going to go ahead as planned. However, one thing we did really well this year was in organizing that stuff. Everything we've put together to shoot has been very in-house. For example, all the stuff we planned to shoot with Drew has come from the States, which although that flight has not been cancelled, he could get stuck here, so it's something we can't push forward with, sadly. All of that stuff we were pretty self-reliant on. So what I'm telling everybody in the crew right now is we continue preparing as normal with all this extra time that we have, especially people like me who have no work on as a result of the coronavirus. Um, and then basically we have a loaded gun ready to fire when we know a bit more about when this is going to wrap up. Of course, that alone is not enough to keep us on schedule. So we've made what I think is the best use of this time, especially when we're housebound, is we basically made our preparations to catch up from that massive gulf we had of how behind we are in post. If you don't remember from previous updates, this is because basically the technology we were using is what I've been editing on since like 2012. And although this footage is basically 720 normally when it's ingested, we'd been putting off things for two reasons. One, that we were worried that using Final Cut 7 on an old computer would eventually bite us in the ass when I have to edit everything twice, which is obviously bad news. Secondly, the transfers we would get from the labs of our tapes weren't exactly perfect. There were some sync issues we were having. The quality left something to be desired. And even though we'd spent hundreds of pounds on it, me and Oscar were looking like, what's the alternatives here? So right now I'm talking to you on the webcam with a brand new computer, which we've managed to get on a new editing station. Right now, I'm looking at laptop, external drives, monitor screen, and a high 8 camera, which is quite an interesting mixture. And we're currently basically testing ingestion methods to get our tapes transferred the way we want them, in a way we know how they've been processed, which we didn't get from the lab. This does, of course, mean re-ingesting like 20 odd tapes. It involves a lot of tests to make sure before we go ahead with that we've got the best possible settings for the best possible quality. I only got this computer yesterday and we're already pretty close to trying a few different softwares and different hardware, and I think we've got something really workable that's looking better than the stuff we got from the lab. So obviously there is that finding the sweet spot, and we need to be certain of that before we put the time in and start editing it, because again, we don't want anything twice that we don't have to. But basically, we're becoming self-sufficient. Not only will it save us hundreds of pounds, but we'll be able to ingest all our footage, but it'll take about a week to do it, honestly, logging everything scene by scene, take by take. But then we're set to edit, and the way things are looking, we've got plenty of time to do that. So the hope is that this time that we're taking away from shooting, sadly, won't slow the project down, because by the time we get back to shooting, we should be basically up to date on post for everything we have, and hopefully that will include things like the score and maybe some VFX as well if we get that far. So it's really exciting. Obviously, I'm looking at my plans for the year completely falling apart. So it is sad, but if we keep preparing all of our art design, all of our storyboarding, all of our remaining casting, things like that, to line it up for the future, hopefully there'll be as minimal impact to the project as possible, and we'll still be looking to get this out in the end of next year, maybe possibly 2022, all said and done, which seems like a long time, but yeah, I'm very positive about this. I should have pretty started by saying this. I hope you're all doing well, whether that's financially or health-wise, and we thank you for your continued support. So I hope you guys get what our plan is here. I think I'm pleased with it myself. So yeah, we'll get something out to you very soon.